Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrindacaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundara, Nitai Sachi Sundara, Nitai Sachi Sundara, Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundara, Jaya Nitai Sachi Sundara, Nitai Sachi Sundara, Nitai Sachishunda Jaya, Nitai Sachishunda Jaya, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jai Prabhupada. Jai Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jai Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri Shri Nittai Satshisundaya Giriraj Govardhan ki Jai, Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol. Welcome Devendra, welcome Prakash. Amit, where is Amit? Anyway, I have no message from him. So, let's see what we're talking about tonight. Any particular wish, let me know. If not, I'm just having a look what we could talk. What we could talk.
9.13 Prabhuji, Bhagavad Gītā.
Say it again.
9.13.
9:13.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, let's see. Bhagavad Gītā 9:13. I know that was Mahatmanas. Yes, Mahatmas. Beautiful. Yes, thank you, Prakash. Let's share that screen also. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're reading from Bhagavad Gītā, chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge, text 13. Mahatmanas tumam partha daivim prakritim ashrita pachantyananya manaso gyatva bhutadim avyayam. Translation. O son of Pritha, that's Arjuna, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Moment. In this verse, the description of the Mahatma is clearly given. The first sign of the Mahatma is that he is already situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of material nature. And how is he affected? That is explained in the 7th chapter. One who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, at once becomes freed from the control of material nature. That is a qualification. One can become free from the control of material nature as soon as he surrenders his soul to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Welcome, Rituan Bihari Prabhu. That is a preliminary formula. Being marginal potency, as soon as a living entity is freed from the control of material nature, he is put under the guidance of the spiritual nature. The guidance of the spiritual nature is called Daivi Prakriti, divine nature. So when one is promoted in that way, by surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one attains the stage of a great soul, Mahatma. So Mahatma does not divert his attention to anything outside Krishna, because he knows perfectly well that Krishna is the original Supreme Person. The cause of all causes. There is no doubt about it. Such a Mahatma or great soul develops through association with other Mahatmas, pure devotees. Pure devotees are not even attracted by Krishna's other features, such as a four-armed Mahavishnu. They are simply attracted by the two-armed form of Krishna. They are not attracted to other features of Krishna, nor are they concerned with any form of a demigod or a human being. They meditate only upon Krishna in Krishna consciousness. They are always engaged in the unswerving service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness. The translation again. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Amakyanam Timirandasya Gananchana Shalakaya Jakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadamayam Dadati Svabadandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Zakrachatam Zahagana Raghunatan Vidam Dam Sajivam Satvaitam Savatutam Parichana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Zahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vidamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagadpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanda Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpata Rupyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaura Bhaktarinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. What a beautiful verse we have here. Mahatma. A Mahatma is very rare. Very rare. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gītā, Bahunam Janmanamante Jnanavam Mamprapatyante Vasudeva sarvam iti sa Mahatma sudurlabha. Sa Mahatma sudurlabha. Such a great soul, Mahatma, great soul, is very rare. So that we have spoken about that verse a number of times. Lord Krishna explains that the jnanis who follows a philosophical, speculative path, who don't surrender to the Lord at that point, but they're researching. They want to find out the absolute truth. Philosophers, mental speculators, but not by the authorized process of surrendering in devotional service and surrendering to a pure devotee, spiritual master. So that is too much for them. Then no, I do it on my own. I'll just research and find out what is the absolute truth. And in their pursuit, they are finding out what is not the absolute truth. Not this, not that, not this, not that. Neti, neti, neti. Until they come, by elimination, what is not the absolute truth, they come eventually to understand Krishna. That's a very laborious process. Neti, neti. Not this, not that. Srila Prabhupada gives a beautiful example. If one wants to know who is my father, by the empirical, by the speculative process, so he goes looking in the village at every male. Are you my father? No. Are you my father? No. You, no, no. Then they widening the research to the district, to the town, to the country, the whole country. You can imagine how long will that take to do a research project of asking any and every male in the country, are you my father? No, no, neti, 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 not this, not that. Then the widening the search to the continent and to the whole world. The whole world. Are you my father? So this takes many, many lifetimes. And that's what Lord Krishna is saying, after many births and deaths. So by the empirical research, it will take a long time. And that only the whole world. They have to research the whole universe. And when they, after innumerable births and deaths, if they have eliminated every and anything what is not the absolute truth, then all what is left is Krishna. But this is an impossible, long, long road. Better, Srila Prabhupada says in this example, just ask your mother, who is my father? She said, this is your father. Krishna is our father. Ask the spiritual master, who is our father? Krishna is our original father. So it's so easy. But that needs surrendering to Krishna. And not everybody is ready to do that. It seems to be. It's not. It's hard to conceive for a devotee who has surrendered. It's hard to conceive that surrendering is such a difficult process. If I look back my entire life, surrendering from small childhood was not difficult. We first surrender to our parents. A child is completely surrendered to the parents. My parents will protect me. My father will protect me. My mother will feed me. And then in my early childhood, I was an altar boy in the Catholic Church. So that God was represented there. And that was surrendering beyond the family circle. But then when I grew up, I became a bit rebellious due to my very strict rule of my father. And hypocritical also. Children can see if parents are hypocritical. If parents are asking the children to do certain things which they're themselves not doing. Children are very good in smelling even a slight sense of hypocrisy. So that was a rebellious period. I do it my own way, which brought me eventually to some impersonal philosophy and to mental speculation. That's what we're talking about. Neti, not this. Searching. And as Srila Prabhupada says in the purport of Bhagavad Gītā, it can be helpful to research and engage in impersonal philosophy. After all, Krishna has a Brahman feature, an impersonal feature. That's part of Krishna, a small part. That's not all Krishna. Above said impersonal features, of course, Mahatma and Bhagavan. So Srila Prabhupada says it can be helpful, and it was helpful for me because I engaged with the absolute truth in an impersonal way. Before I was rebellious and I have rejected anything and everything, religion, everything, just rejected. And that was at the time of the student revolt, when I guess I followed the footsteps of my brother, who was actively engaged. I was a little bit too young. And so I engaged with the absolute truth, trying to find. And Srila Prabhupada said it can be helpful, and it has been helpful to me, to lift me out of my rebellious mood was still there, but to lift me out of just gross materialism. And Srila Prabhupada says it can be helpful up to a point. We've spoken about that. What's the point? Until one meets a pure devotee. That's exactly what happened. I met a pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada, through his Bhagavad Gītā. And then I had no interest. I dropped that impersonal speculation and mind twisting and all on the mental platform. I dropped it immediately. Here was something much, much better. Here was a pure devotee. Here was Krishna consciousness. Everything so simply explained. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You don't look for the impersonal Brahman. That's included in Krishna. So then my surrendering process started, and up to today. So, fortunately, in this lifetime, I don't know in previous lifetimes, but in this lifetime, I could meet a pure devotee through Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gītā as it is. And eventually, yes, meet physically also for 3 days. But that meeting through Bhagavad Gītā, that was very profound, because that was long, for years, and still keeps on going. Of meeting Srila Prabhupada. Tonight we're meeting Srila Prabhupada. We have direct association with Srila Prabhupada. Just imagine this purport we just read. He got up. He took a few hours rest, the early evening, and up till midnight, and he got up at 1 o'clock at night, early morning, and he started to chant his rounds or some rounds, and then he started translating. When it was very quiet, everybody was sleeping, so undisturbed. Nobody knocks at his door, nobody make noises, so he, with full concentration. So these purports were written in the middle of the night, and everybody was sleeping. So we have that sacred association with Srila Prabhupada. The Buddhists have described, when they heard Srila Prabhupada in the middle of the night, they heard the dictaphone. At the early days, it was just a typewriter. Later on, it was a dictaphone. And Srila Prabhupada could rewind with a push of a button on the microphone. And then he listened to it again, and sometimes he erased it or corrected something. And then bit by bit by bit. As he says, a steady drop wears the stone. So every day some translation was accomplished. Sometimes more, sometimes less. So back to that impersonalist who is unable to surrender to Krishna. Even if Krishna is presented. Even if. In my case, Krishna was not presented. I didn't know. Of course, I knew about God in the Christian context and Jesus Christ, the Lord Jesus Christ. And later on I rejected that because the priest was so hypocritical. The priest, which I had great, as an altar boy, you're working closely with a priest. And I had great adoration and admiration for the priest. And then that priest, he was sitting down with a youth, like 16, 18 years old, and trying to engage them. So, of course, these young people, they had all bad habits. They were smoking and drinking. So when they had some meetings, the priest also was smoking and drinking, thinking in this way he could be on the same level as the youth and he could influence them. And so I lost all respect. We don't need to go down to that level. Srila Prabhupada went never down to that level of the hippies. Drug taking and all kinds of sinful activities. No. A priest need to give the perfect example. So that was a big disillusionment. Perhaps that was not all, but that was one factor, and I turned away. Do it my way. Neti, physical, mental speculation. Until I met Srila Prabhupada through the Bhagavad Gītā. So that verse, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, after many births and deaths. The jnani, the speculative soul who cannot surrender, he understands eventually that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and Krishna is everywhere. He is everything. Not in an impersonal way, in a personal way. And he understands the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then his philosophical, empirical research finished. End of it. And then Krishna says in that verse, such a Mahatma, such a great soul, is very rare. And at that point, that used to be jnani and mental speculator, he surrenders to Krishna. And that verse is all about here, because we're speaking about Mahatma. The Mahatmas, Srila Prabhupada explains, it's a description of the Mahatmas, this verse, and it explains that he is situated in the divine nature. He is not under the control of the material nature. How? How is he situated in the divine nature? And Srila Prabhupada explains in the seventh chapter also. One who surrenders unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, at once becomes free from the control of material nature. As soon as we surrender, we become free from the control of material nature. We're giving up the surrender at any point, even temporarily, we're back under the control of material nature. We are always controlled. We have to be controlled. That's our nature. We always controlled. Welcome, Jayanti Bai. So, that is nice to be freed from the control of material nature. Means liberated from the three modes of material nature. That means material nature means the three modes, the three gunas. If someone is freed from the control of material nature, he is freed from the gunas. He is on the liberated platform. And he becomes prasanatma, joyful. And in that stage of bliss and joy, in Krishna consciousness, there is no more na shochati na kangshati. There is no more hankering and no lamentation. If you are overcome by the material nature, as immediately says hankering and lamentation. Oh, I need this, I want this. And anxiety in the future and lamentation from the past. If I would have done something different, I would be in a different situation. All of that. A devotee who has surrendered, that's the point. Surrender. It's not that easy to surrender. And directly to Krishna, Krishna does not accept that direct surrender. Krishna says, if you want to surrender to me, surrender to my pure devotee. That we have to do. We have to find that pure devotee, and that pure devotee is right in front of our eyes, Srila Prabhupada. He doesn't need to be physically present. He's present, but not in a physical form we can see or even touch. Sometimes devotees say, I've been able to touch Srila Prabhupada's lotus feet. So this form is not present. But the presence, the spiritual presence, is right in front of our eyes. There is a pure devotee. And I sent out a message today, a little video. You may have seen it or not. There is different aspects of chanting Hare Krishna. We must know that. There is Nama Parat, which is offensive chanting of Hare Krishna. There are 10 offenses. Starting with to blaspheme or criticize devotees who have dedicated their lives for spreading Krishna consciousness. That's a very dangerous offense. Sometimes explained as the mad elephant offense. Because why mad elephant offense? Because if a mad elephant gets into our garden, he tramples everything flat. There's nothing, no plants, no flowers, no vegetables, nothing will survive. Even an elephant, what you speak of a mad elephant is on a rampage. Everything. If it doesn't knock down our house, we'll be lucky. So everything gets destroyed if we commit that maha apparat of blaspheming and criticizing devotees who have dedicated their lives to the service of Krishna. So we need to be very careful. Who has dedicated their lives to the service of Krishna? We don't know. We cannot see that so clearly from the outside. How much a devotee is actually surrendered. And of course, at different levels of surrender, there is always more surrender and more and more and more. Someone may surrender, okay, I follow one principle out of the four. That's some surrender. I'm surrendering by associating with devotees. That is a level of surrender. And someone else may follow two principles, three, all four principles. So that is a big surrender. And someone may chant one round every day or on and off, whenever he feels like. And if he surrenders a little bit more, then every day one round, every day 2, 4, 8, 16. So that is a minimum of surrender. It doesn't stop there, of course. There's no end to it of surrender. But that is a good start of chanting 16 rounds every day and following all the four principles. So it's not that easy to surrender to Krishna, meaning to surrender to a spiritual master. But if one can surrender to Krishna, then he is under the divine nature. He's a Mahatma. He's a liberated soul. And he is fully joyful. And he sees Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu. He sees with equal vision. He sees everyone as a spirit soul on the same platform. He doesn't make distinction. This person has this skin color and that skin color, that family, this community, this country, humans, animals. So the Mahatma does not make these distinctions. Mahatma, of course, it goes without saying, is not someone who has qualified himself politically. That's not. Yes, sometimes say, oh, he's such a Mahatma, he's a famous politician or famous leader or something. That is not really the meaning of Mahatma. He may say that. He's just a great personality. But yes, the qualifications are clear. Such a person needs to be under the divine nature all the time. And Srila Prabhupada points out, we are the marginal potency between the spiritual potency and the material potency, because we have a material body, but we are in essence spiritual. So we are under the influence of both, sometimes more in this direction, sometimes more in that. So as soon as a living entity is freed from the control of material nature, he is put under the guidance of the spiritual nature immediately. Daivi Prakriti, the divine nature. So when one comes to the point of surrendering to Krishna, then he attains the stage of a great soul of a Mahatma. And Srila Prabhupada defines it a little bit more. Such a Mahatma is not diverted, his attention is not diverted to anything outside Krishna. So he's constantly in touch with Krishna. It's not that one has to give up all activities and just sit in a cave and chant Hare Krishna all the time. Nobody can do that. Haridas Thakur, he could do that. But we cannot imitate Haridas Thakur. So it's not that. Divert his attention to anything outside Krishna. But an advanced devotee, he sees Krishna everywhere, in everything. And Bhagavad Gītā gives us many hints I'm the taste of water, of the mountains, I'm the Himalaya, and. I'm the taste of water. So many examples where we can think of Krishna. Water, everybody drinks water. Nowadays, everybody has a water bottle. Drinking water. So whenever we sip, oh, that's Krishna. That taste of water, that is Krishna. Or any liquid. Srila Prabhupada even goes so far. He says even the drunkard who drinks his beer or liquor, we can also think here that liquor, that liquid, that is Krishna also, because there is water in every drink. So then he will become purified. So anything outside Krishna. So we define Krishna in a wide way. We see Krishna in nature, we see Krishna in other people, we see Krishna in our heart, we see Krishna in everyone's heart. The verse, wise and humble sage sees everyone with an equal vision. A cow, an elephant, a brahmana, a dog eater. Same as samasarveshu bhuteshu. Ritu and Prabhu, what's the Sanskrit to that verse? It slipped me again.
Prabhu, the one with the cow and the Brahmana, they are the same.
Yes.
Brahmana has the. Just a moment, Prabhu. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Kavi Hastini Suni Chaiva Sapake Cha Panditaha Samadarshinaha.
Samadarshina, Pandit. Samadarshina, with equal darshan, vision. Same message as Samasarveshu Bhuteshu. Sees with equal vision. That equal vision is not that easily achieved because we're tending to like people which have the same skin color, same ethnic group, same country, same nation, same community. Or we feel great affection. I've given that example many times. We're walking down the street and we're meeting someone, and by chance we're talking with that person, and he says, "Where are you from?" People ask that kind of question. "Oh, where are you from? What you doing? What you working? Where are you from?" Then we find out they are from the same country, the same village even. You from the same village? Wow. And they're feeling some affection because they're from the same village. What the illusory things that is? They don't know that person. They've never met that person, but on the strength that person is from the same country and the same village. So feeling like I have met a dear friend. That's the illusory energy in full display. A devotee who has surrendered to Krishna and who has that equal vision, he has no affinity to someone on the strength of his body, his place of birth, his nationality, his passport, his community. No, he has no. That is beyond. As someone was asking me some time ago, do you feel like you're from Germany? You feel like a German? because that person felt like someone from his country. I said, no. I left that behind long time ago. Long time ago. It's true. So that person was amazed. Wow, I cannot imagine that. Because that person was identified to some extent with his country, with his customs, and people from the country immediately. We see that. People here in the UK and people from another country, because we are very international here in the UK, there are people from all kinds of, in particular Leicester, people from everywhere. Asia, everywhere, India, Africa, Somalia, wherever, you name it. And these people, they always flock together. Or on identity of Muslim and Hindu. The Hindu community in Leicester, they flock together, they don't mix much. And the Muslim communities, they stick together. This is all to this bodily identification. There is not equal vision. No, unequal vision. So they'll have to go a longer way. It's not that easily achieved, that equal vision. So I ask myself, how did it happen? That I don't identify. I've been away from Germany since 1980. So over 40 years. That's a long time. But neither do I identify as English. No. Neither English, neither German. I'm not. Nationality doesn't mean anything to me. Yes, I have a passport. That's all, for practical purposes. So we have to come to that. And I thought this was an ABC of spiritual life. The first step, that we don't identify with skin color and with country and with religion we are born into. But that is not that. Not everybody, even devotees. They're not necessarily on that platform. They have completely transcended nationality, community, country, religion. Not all devotees have transcended that. So in due course of time, if one keeps on chanting Hare Krishna in this lifetime or in a future lifetime, then that will come. So how did it come to me? I don't know. It just happened. So I left this German identity, this national identity, I left behind. I don't know how. It just, I cannot say when did it exactly happen. I guess it happened gradually. And when I really looked at it, then, oh, it's gone. Oh, it's gone. Good. So these things are important. Equal vision. So, a Mahatma does not divert his attention to anything outside Krishna, because he knows perfectly well that Krishna is the original Supreme Person, the cause of all causes. Sarva karana karanam jintamani ma prakara satmusu kalpa vriksha laksha vriteshu surapira pipalayantam. Ishvara, the Supreme Controller, Krishna. Sarva karana karanam, the cause of all causes. And Srila Prabhupada underwrites that such a Mahatma, he knows perfectly well that Krishna is the Supreme Person and the cause of all causes. And then Srila Prabhupada says, there is no doubt about it. How beautiful. There's no doubt about it that the Mahatma is situated in the divine energy, in the Daivi Prakriti, and he has nothing to do with these bodily identifications. In fact, we should very well remember that to identify a devotee according to country and caste and community is an offense. To think or say, oh, this is an Indian devotee, this is an English devotee, and Russian devotee, this is an offense. Because the devotee has left his bodily identification behind. And his identification is Krishna Nitya Das, eternal servant of Krishna. Realized to various degrees. He's trying to. So if he then identifies that devotee again with a country or community, that's an offense. Because it's going backwards. Once someone has surrendered to Krishna, there's not such a thing as an American devotee, American Vaishnava, Russian Vaishnava. No, Vaishnava is Nitya Krishna Das. So therefore Srila Prabhupada says, such a devotee, Mahatma, doesn't see anything outside Krishna. He knows Krishna as a supreme person. There is no doubt about it. And then Srila Prabhupada says, such a Mahatma or great soul develops through association with other Mahatmas, pure devotees. So that's another important point. So to become a Mahatma, one needs to be in the association of other Mahatmas. Srila Prabhupada said, other Mahatmas, pure devotees. So Mahatma is a pure devotee. So by association. And again, here we have the association of Srila Prabhupada. He's a Mahatma, he's a pure devotee. And if we keep that association alive and take it and surrender to Srila Prabhupada, although he's not physically present, so we have to do with his spiritual association with his Vani, which is eternal. Who reasons ill, who thinks that Vaishnavas die when Vaishnavas living in sound, and while living, they spread the holy name around. So Vaishnavas don't die. They're living eternally in sound. Here is the sound of Srila Prabhupada's dictaphone, the middle of the night. So that is alive. Or as Srila Prabhupada says, physical presence is not important. Not important. So spiritual presence, the Vani, the instructions, the sound vibration recorded, the middle of the night, that is the ecstasy of the pure devotee is right in front of our eyes with his Bhagavad Gītā purport. So as we know, association is very important. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti. So these are the stages we can progress. It starts with a little bit of faith, and the next step after a little bit of faith is Sadhu Sangha. There's a beautiful verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Sadhu Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastrikaya, Lava Matra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Haya. It explains, if we get the association of a pure devotee for just a moment, all success in life is achieved. Also, when we speak of the chanting, which I mentioned earlier, the beginning will be Nama Parat, offensive chanting. And if we carry on and try to avoid all 10 offenses, not just the first one, the mad elephant offense, but all of them, some may be more, we might be more prone to and others less. Then we come to some very high advanced stage of nama bas. So as Ben has recently so nicely defined nama bas, it's the first glimmer of the pure name, or the shadow. It's also explained, it's a shadow. When we see the shadow, means the sunlight, we know the sun is there, we may not see the sun, but the shadow is there, because at night we don't see any shadow. There are no shadows, because there's no light, there's no sun. But the sun is there, we see the shadow. Or I like Ben's explanation. It's the first glimmer, like in the morning, 4 o'clock. The light is coming. So the first, a little bit of light comes in the room. Oh, that's the first glimmer of the day. Very auspicious time. Brahma Muhurta, even before the sun is rising. Good time to chant Hare Krishna mantra. So that is nama bas. And we spoke about the story where some Brahmin, he heard, and Haridas Thakur glorified the holy name, said even by this nama bas, this glimmer of the pure holy name, even by that, one can achieve liberation. And that Brahmin said, that's not possible. So I don't believe that. You're just exaggerating. If that is not true, we said to Haridas Thakur, then I shall cut off your nose. What a big offense to Haridas Thakur. To keep it short, everybody was, they threw him out of speaking such great offense towards Haridas Thakur. And in short time after, he contracted leprosy and his nose fell off. So it backfired on him. So there are many things. So that nama bas is written in the Shastra, and we hear it from Haridas Thakur. That can award liberation. How does it award liberation? Because that nama bas, in due course of time, and with association of other Mahatmas, pure devotees, it develops into Shuddha Nam, the pure holy name. That pure holy name can only be given by someone who has it. Right? The holy name, the stages before, Nama Bas or Nama Parat, that is everywhere. But the pure holy name, Shuddha Nam, that can only be received from someone who has it. The pure devotee is chanting Shuddha Nam. And the scriptures describe, if we even just one mantra of Hare Krishna, we're chanting purely, without material attraction, attachment, desire, without any desire for mental speculation, anyapilashita shunyam, guna karma, yes, jnana karma, sorry. That's the definition of pure devotional service, free from jnana and karma. Jnana karma anavritam. Anukulyena Krishna anu shilanam bhaktim uttama. So if there is no more material hankering, no more karma and no more jnana, our own mental speculation, if that is gone of our system completely, that is pure devotional service. And then we can chant the pure name. And needless to say, which we touched on it last time. Needless to say, if a Mahatma, a pure devotee, he does not act in any sectarian way. That's very important. No sectarian way. Srila Prabhupada wasn't sectarian. I just spoke with someone recently. And there is a story by Srila Prabhupada in a room conversation. There were devotees there. And there was one Austrian boy from Austria. He wasn't even much a devotee. He was just interested. And Srila Prabhupada said, "Oh, you're from Austria?" "Yes." "Why don't you open a Hare Krishna center in Austria?" Srila Prabhupada empowered him to open a Hare Krishna center in Austria. There was no, "Oh, you have to qualify first and you can only do it if we sanction that," and no, just like that. So the pure devotee is not sectarian. He's not saying, "Don't go here, don't go there." He's open, non-sectarian. If someone is sectarian, means this is our group. And your group is different. We, us and you. That's sectarian. That means we are far away from pure devotional service. So non-sectarian, that's an important ingredient. Srila Prabhupada was so open, liberal, very liberal. Then back to the purport. A pure devotee is not even attracted by other features of Krishna. That's also important. Such as a four-armed Vishnu or Mahavishnu. Pure devotees are simply attracted by the two-armed form of Krishna. There are some people or even devotees who are not quite clear about that. And Srila Prabhupada mentions many times one should meditate about that two-armed Krishna, bluish form, Shyama Sundar, peacock feather in his crown. That is the most beneficial form of Krishna. They are all forms. Vishnu is also Krishna. Yes, all the incarnations are all present in the body of Krishna, of course. But we should meditate upon that Shyama Sundar Krishna. That's the most beneficial. So here Srila Prabhupada confirms that again. They are not attracted to other features of Krishna. Of course, first of all, we have to understand Vishnu is a feature of Krishna, not the misconception that Krishna is an incarnation of Vishnu. No, wrong way around. Just because Krishna comes through the gate of Vishnu, of Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, it doesn't mean, oh, he is an avatar of Vishnu. It's like someone comes through the door. So Krishna is using that door of Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. All incarnations come through Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. So in Krishna, by his own sweet will, he can come through any means. But he has decided all my incarnations coming from Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, so I will also come through Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. And then people with a poor fund of knowledge, they conclude, oh, Krishna is coming through Kshirodakashayi Vishnu. That means Vishnu is the supreme and Krishna is an incarnation, an avatar. But they don't know what was before that door where Krishna came through her. They don't know that Krishna has expanded himself into all the three Vishnus. They don't know that, even into Narayan and so on and so on. So that is the first thing. So devotee, a Mahatma, is not attracted by any Vishnu forms. Therefore, the pure devotees generally say they're not attracted to go to Vaikuntha even. Pure devotees want to go to Goloka. There are devotees who like the opulence of Vaikuntha. Little do they know that the opulence of Goloka is even supremely greater than the opulence of Vaikuntha. But they have some affinity to the opulences in Vaikuntha. So they go to Vaikuntha. If we can go to Vaikuntha, I mean, that's wonderful. We are out of this material world, but those who meditate on Krishna in his Shyama Sundar form and understand he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they're not even attracted to stay in Vaikuntha. Like Gopkumar in Brihad Bhagavatam written by Sanatana Goswami. He came to Vaikuntha, but after some time he was still not satisfied. Because in his heart he had that attraction for Gopal Krishna, tending the cows with his cowherd boys. That was his attraction. So eventually in Vaikuntha, one thing in particular he had difficulties with. Said Lord Vishnu was there, he gave his darshan, but at one point Lakshmiji, she got everyone out of the room. Okay, you all leave now. My Lord has to take rest. That is a big austerity. We cannot look at the Lord because we want to. Once we see Krishna, once we see Vishnu, we cannot get our eyes off his beautiful face and beautiful features and beautiful body. Or like the gopis cursed Lord Brahma, what kind of imperfect eyes have you given us? We want to see Krishna always, but you made the eyes that we have to blink. And by blinking, we cannot see Krishna for a fraction of a second. So that's not perfect. And there's another quote, I wish I would have millions of eyes to see Krishna. So very attractive. So the Mahatmas, they just want to. They meditate only on Krishna, in Krishna consciousness. And the last sentence, Srila Prabhupada says, they're always engaged in the unwavering service of the Lord in Krishna consciousness. Krishna is the Lord and Master for eternity. And so is a pure devotee. Again, the translation, O son of Pritha, those who are deluded, who are not deluded, the great souls. Deluded means illusioned, of course, by the material energy. So those great souls are under the protection of your divine nature, the Daivi Prakriti. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. So, anyone has any question or comment? Ritual?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Any question?
Prabhu, I have one question.
Yes.
Prabhu, yeah, as you mentioned that pure devotees, I mean, they desire to go to Golok Vrindavan and not to Vaikuntha. I mean, what I was thinking, like, is it like pure devotees or like the pure devotees of Gauriya Sampradaya who serve Srimati Radharani and Krishna together and are, the servants of Srimati Radharani? Because other sampradayas, even among the four bona
Yes,
fide sampradayas, like Sri Sampradaya, Ramanuja
yes.
Sampradaya, their main goal, they are like all pure devotees, and Ramanujacharya is said to be the incarnation of Anantashesh. So, and his followers, their main attraction was to the,
Narayan.
to the Lord in the form of Vishnu Narayan, with awe and reverence, and they just like even in Hanumanji also. Hanumanji also, was a staunch devotee of Lord Ram and did not want to, did not want to, was unable. I mean, he was unable to uh, go in the service of Krishna, Radha and Krishna. And when not Radha and Krishna, Krishna and Rukmini in Dwarka. So when Rukmini Devi and Krishna understood that, and Rukmini Devi and Krishna took the form of Ramchandra and Sita Devi, then Hanumanji was able to relate this, and he was able to, fully serve with, with his uh, devotion for Lord Ramchandra. So he was also a pure devotee, but uh, is it that all pure devotees go to Golok Vrindavan, or according to their desire or their relationship, which is an eternal relationship? And say that it's an eternal relationship. We cannot just think that I am this. It's an eternal relation. Means what I understand, this relationship is there since time immemorial, and we just need to revive that relationship. And once that relationship is revived, we get the by sadhana bhakti, then we start to know how we are related to the Lord, and then we serve accordingly.
Yes, thank you, Ridwan Prabhuji. Yes, of course. I should qualify that a little bit. Pure devotees are only found in Goloka. No, of course not. If it's by preference, of course, and the pure devotees in Vaikuntha. In fact, anyone in Vaikuntha is a pure devotee. Otherwise, we can't get to Vaikuntha without being a pure devotee. But in that particular purpose, Srila Prabhupada put great emphasis of meditating on Krishna, not Vishnu, or to speak of the demigods. So if we meditate on Krishna, Krishna means a little blue boy with a flute in his hand, with a peacock feather on his hand and a beautiful smile. That Krishna. That's Shyama Sundar Krishna. If we meditate on that Shyama Sundar Krishna, then as Srila Prabhupada advises us, then naturally we want to go where that Shyama Sundar Krishna is. We want to go to Goloka. It is in our heart. We have cultivated that desire of wanting to relate to Krishna. And yes, particularly in the Gaudiya Vaishnavas and the Sri Sampradaya, yes, Vishnu, Lord Narayan. If we make it to Vaikuntha, we have accomplished the mission of the human form of life. There's no question about it. Not brahmachari, that we don't want to. But Vaikuntha, yes. And from Vaikuntha, we can go further, like Gopkumar. Gopkumar went further, so he wasn't. Because as you say, this Swarup, this spiritual forms, this spiritual attraction, in his heart, after some time, like when Lord Narayan went to sleep, we couldn't see Lord Narayan. It was a terrible thing. There was a break. Meditation and everything. So that he wasn't very happy about that. He had to go. He wanted to stay with his Lord all the time. And he had that desire of seeing, serving, associating with his Gopal. That was deep in his heart. So Narada Muni could see that he was not. Narada Muni followed his journey, Gopkumar's journey, which is our journey back home to Godhead also. So Narada Muni has observed that while in Mahaloka, in Tapaloka, even in Brahmaloka, even Gopkumar held the position of Lord Brahma, but he wasn't satisfied. That was not. After some time he lost interest. He kept chanting his mantra, and then usually Narada Muni comes, yes, I can see you're not satisfied, I will help you. So in Vaikuntha it's the same thing. He took him aside, and it's explained. He took him aside. And, now I tell you something. Keep quiet. Don't disturb the atmosphere in Vaikuntha. And he was disturbing the atmosphere in Vaikuntha because he wanted the association of his Gopal. So when he saw Lord Narayana, he said, oh, Gopal, Gopal, finally. And he was admonished by the Vaikuntha Basis. He said, what are you talking about? You calling our Lord Narayan a cowherd boy? Tending the cows? No, Lord Narayan is the supreme ruler of Vaikuntha. So don't speak like this. So the awe and reverence, so they demanded, Gopkumar, you must have awe and reverence to Lord Narayan. You bow down and worship him with awe and reverence. Don't call him Gopal. So that mood, he wasn't satisfied with that. Also, wonderful that Lord Narayan was, and Lord Narayan said, oh, Gopkumar, you have come. Oh, thank you, that is wonderful to see you, and all of that. But he couldn't relate to Lord Narayan in the way he wanted to relate to Krishna as a cowherd boy, playing his flute and roaming in the forest of Vrindavan. So his heart's desire wasn't really fulfilled. So Narada Muni took him aside. Psst, don't disturb the atmosphere here. I know you're not satisfied. I can see that. I will help you. Chant your mantra. Right. In a moment's time, Gopkumar found himself in Goloka, on the gates of Goloka. Just where? At that time, everybody was rushing out of their houses, half dressed and half completely in disarray. What's happening? Krishna is coming home from the forest with the cows. People were crying. Sometimes he couldn't understand, are they crying in pain or in joy? So then, from far, he could see the dust. Everybody lined on the road, which came from the forest. The gopis, they had to also be in separation from Krishna the whole day when he was tending the cows. The cowherd boys didn't have that. They were in association with Krishna all the time, all day long. Beautiful. The gopis not. They couldn't go to the forest. They didn't go to the forest. Except when Akrura took Krishna away and tried to take Krishna away from Vrindavan to take him to Mathura, ultimately to kill Kamsa, of course, and to deliver his parents. They were in prison, Vasudeva, Devaki. So when Akrura explained to Krishna, you poor parents are suffering. They're imprisoned by cruel Kamsa. He might even kill them. Have some mercy. Come to Mathura. And then Krishna, he felt, oh yes, I have to do something. I have to kill Kamsa. I have to deliver my parents. Then Krishna agreed to come on the chariot along with Balaram. And then the gopis, that's a pitiful sight. When the chariot was starting to move, they threw themselves before the horses, under the wheels, and Akrura skillfully avoided to run anybody over. And then Krishna, when the gopis lamented, "We have given everything to you, Krishna, and now you're leaving. Our life is finished. We're going to die. What to speak of your beloved Srimati Radharani? She cannot bear that separation from you." And then Krishna changed his mind. And before Akrura knew, Krishna was not sitting in the chariot anymore. Balaram was there, but Krishna was gone and the gopis were gone. They were hiding in the forest. So the gopis were in the forest at that point. And then, of course, Akrura called out, "Oh, you poor parents in Mathura, they're suffering." Then Krishna again came to the chariot, and that was going forth and back and forth and back, until eventually he left with Akrura and on the promises of Nanda Maharaj. And Mother Yashoda said, I make you promise. Krishna's hand, she took Krishna's hands, I put it in your hand. And you promise me that you're going to come and put Krishna's hand again in my hand. And Nanda Maharaj said, yes, yes. So in that way, the gopis have been in the forest. But generally, when Krishna was going to tend the cows, no, the gopis were not in the forest. They had separation from Krishna. They waited all day long. They meditated. Oh, what will happen to Krishna? There are prickles on the road. His soft lotus feet might be hurt. How can we bear that? They felt the pain. They felt the pain that Krishna's feet, lotus feet, might be hurt by some stones or some prickles. So that was a meditation. And then when Krishna came back from the forest in the evening, well, then, of course, they were in total ecstasy. They ran out of the house with one earring on and wrongly dressed. Like sometimes if we rush out of the house, we have one black sock and one green sock on a different foot and things like that. So we're completely in disarray. And then Gop Kumar, he said, "What's happening?" Yeah, Krishna is coming home from tending the cows. And then he could see. In the distance there was a cloud of dust. When the cows are walking in Vrindavan, there's always with their hoofs and the dust racing. So that's all what he could see, dust. And thousands and thousands of people lining the road, wanting to get the first glimpse of Krishna when he comes home. And then eventually Krishna appeared also, playing on his flute and dancing and smiling, and the cowherd boys surrounding him. They had such a great time in the forest of Vrindavan, playing games, hide and seek, and all of that, and then taking the lunch back out and sharing it. And sometimes even some cowherd boy, he took, "Look what my mother gave me. These beautiful samosas and pakoras," and then he bit inside. "Oh, it tastes so good. Oh, Krishna, you want to try?" And they gave it to Krishna. That's a mood. We wouldn't do that. Not in Vaikuntha, and not to our spiritual master, and not to the deities. We first, okay, offering is ready. Okay, let me try first. Oh, it tastes very nice, and then we give it to Krishna. Not like that. Of course, there are occasions. It was in relation to Ramanuja, I believe so, in South India, where one devotee, he was in charge of making his spiritual master's bed every day. Like devotees also. When Srila Prabhupada left, they kept his room clean, they straightened his bed, made his bed. So then someone came in the room and he saw that devotee, he was lying on the bed of his spiritual master. He said, offense, offense. You're enjoying the bed of your guru? You don't do that. And then he explained, no, I'm not enjoying. I just want to see if the bed is fit enough for my Guru Maharaj to lie on it. Oh, that is a completely different level. So that love between Krishna and the cowherd boys, they bit into the sweet and then offered it to Krishna. We wouldn't do that. Biting the sweet and then offering it to our spiritual master. We can't do that. So that is the mood of the cowherd boys in Vrindavan. They don't know that Krishna is Krishna. He's just their friend. Very special friend. Who can do all kind of magic. So Gop Kumar was attracted to that. And when Krishna saw Gop Kumar, he ran. He ran. Normally he was just walking with the cows and the cowherd boys until they came to the parents and they bowed down and touched the feet of their parents, Krishna and Balaram. And Nanda Maharaj, often he would say, oh yes, the dinner is ready. Dinner is ready. Go, Mother Yashoda is waiting. It's hot, the dinner is hot, go. I will talk to the cows tonight. Look at that. I will talk to the cows tonight. So it means, normally, when Krishna and Balaram came home from the forest, they didn't go straight for dinner. Okay, cows are in the stables, okay, go for dinner. No, they comforted the cows. They talked to the cows for some time. So important are the cows. More important than the dinner. So talk to the cows. How was it today? You had a nice time. You had some nice and sweet grass and patted the cows and comfort them and makes them feel very much appreciated. And then they took the dinner. So on that occasion, Nanda Maharaj said, you go, you take your dinner. I will do that service of talking to the cows tonight. Instead of you, I'll talk to the cows. So that is Vrindavan. And then when Krishna ran towards Gop Kumar, Krishna fainted. And the gopis were very angry. Who is that newcomer in Goloka? Who is that? What he has done? Look, Krishna is dead on the floor. He has killed our Krishna. So they looked at it like that. And then Balaram was also distressed first. Oh, Krishna has fainted. And then he understood. Balaram is very clever. He could see, he could analyze. He said, oh, Krishna fainted out of love. He said to Gop Kumar, you go to Krishna, put his head on your lap and softly speak into his ears. And then, yes, and Krishna was revived. And then he hugged Gop Kumar with a big, big warm hug. And then he became aware of all the gopis and everybody around him. And then he became shy. He stopped. He said, Gop Kumar, you come with me for dinner. So this is the relationships in Goloka. You won't find that in Vaikuntha, but there are beautiful, blissful relationships in Vaikuntha too. Everybody with 4 arms and blue bodily color, but there is a mood of awe and reverence. All pure devotees, yes. Nobody in the spiritual world nobody can be there who is not a pure devotee. Goloka or Vaikuntha. But the mood is different. Okay. Rituan, anything more? Sorry, I got a long detour. Anything more, Rituan? Prabhuji. Devendra, Dharm, any question?
No, Prabhu, thank you. Just yeah, you have nicely explained about how Gokumar how Gokumar was also not satisfied. He had that one pointed devotion to Shyam Sundar of Vrindavan. So yeah, that should be our goal as per our Gaudiya Acharyas, Srila Prabhupada, and also Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami. Just like one comment, I just this came to my mind. Even in the Gaudiya Sampradaya, we find some exceptions in the sense, Murari Gupta, because he was constitution, he was Hanumanji. Also, what was his name? Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami's younger brother, Anupam Goswami. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Anupam Goswami was a devotee of Lord Ram. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Anupam Goswami that your two elder brothers, Rupa and Sanatan, they are worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead in the form of Lord Krishna, which is the highest form, avatari. So you would also try to do the same thing. Then he said that as because he knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Lord, he said, okay, Mahaprabhu, I'll do that. So throughout, so when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to meet him the next day, so he was really very troubled, and he told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that I was thinking that I will commit suicide because you are my Lord, and your instruction was that I should serve Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as Krishna, but I can't remove my love from my Ishtadev, who is Lord Ramchandra. So I can't leave Lord Ramchandra on one hand, and I can't, disobey the order of you, who is my master. So it's better that I leave this body. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that your bhakti, devotion, love towards Lord Ram is supreme. So you should continue with your devotion towards Lord Ram. And the same thing, similar type of leela happened with Murari Gupta also. So yeah, that's so many variations are there. That's the thing. It's like a closed box. So many variations are there in Krishna consciousness.
I know that story, but I didn't know that was Anupam. I thought it was a Brahmin on his way to South India. But it doesn't matter. Because
yes, but I actually heard this from one of the one senior Vaishnava. Like he mentioned about Anupam Goswami, who was Rup Sanatan's brother. His other name was Ballabh.
I neither ever heard the title Goswami added to Anupam. The Anupam, yes, the younger brother of Rup and Sanatan, but I never heard Anupam Goswami either.
I think, sorry, Prabhu, it was not Goswami. His name was Anupam because he was a Grihastha. Yeah, it was not Anupam. His name was not Anupam Goswami. So that's my mistake. His name was Anupam because he was the father of Jiva Goswami, basically. He was a Grihastha.
He was the father of?
Srila Jiva Goswami.
Oh, is it? But are we speaking about the same Anupam who got lost, who left his body?
Yes, Prabhu. That's what I heard from the senior devotees, that there were three brothers. Sanatana Goswami was the eldest, and Anupam was the youngest. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami definitely were like sannyasi, renunciants, whereas Anupam Goswami got married, and he was the father of Jiva Goswami. So Jiva Goswami basically was the nephew. We know that Jiva Goswami was the nephew. Is basically he was the son of Anupam, and Anupam passed away, left his body very early, quite early, though he was the youngest.
Didn't send out some devotees to search for Anupam? You heard that?
No, Prabhu, that I didn't hear.
Anyway, there's so many beautiful narrations. Anything else? Devendra.
Yeah, hello. I just wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
Mother Yashoda, foster mother, when she chastised the Lord for breaking the pots of honey, like it was, and butter, distributing it to the monkeys, and so forth. In Vaikuntha, you're talking about reverential attitude, fearful sometimes that the inhabitants, they know that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, so there's a bit of a reverential attitude, a bit of kind of fear, but knowledge that they're in awe of him. So that's not the same spirit in Golok Vrindavan, because the cowherd boys consider Krishna his friend, their friends, nothing more than that. So my question is that when Mother Yashoda got the Lord as a child, did the Lord make her forget that Krishna, was the Lord himself? Because otherwise she wouldn't have chastised him. If you chastise the Lord, it's not something easy to do. So did the Lord make Mother Yashoda forget his real position, his real...
Yes, thank you. Thank you for that question.
Yeah.
The short answer is yes.
Yeah.
Everybody in Goloka don't know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Neither Nanda Maharaj, nor Mother Yashoda, nor the cowherd boys, nor the gopis, nobody. How was that accomplished? Krishna has two Maya energies. He has a material illusory energy, and he has a spiritual illusory energy, which he employs in Vrindavan. Otherwise, Krishna cannot taste the beautiful relationships of friend to friend and child to parents and as girlfriends to the gopis. So this... what's the name of that energy again? Ritu and Prabhuji? The spiritual Maya.
Yoga Maya, Antaranga Shakti?
Yoga Maya.
Yoga Maya Devi?
Yes.
I mean, internal potency you're talking about?
Yeah. Ladini Shakti, Yoga Maya. Yes. Thank you. So that's the Yoga Maya energy. It's a Maya, but it's not Mahamaya, it's a material Maya. It's a spiritual Maya, Yoga Maya. So Krishna employs that Yoga Maya. So the answer is yes. All the time, Krishna employs that to make the inhabitants of Vrindavan not aware he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Only on certain occasions, he lifts that veil. It's just like a veil over the eyes of the Vrishbasis. So when Mother Yashoda called for Krishna, he said, Balaram said, you're eating dirt. Krishna said, no, I'm not eating dirt. Balaram is just, he lost the game, and so he's just playing tricks. He's just giving me a bad name because he's not happy. He lost the game. So, yes, I have not eaten much. He was doubtful. Well, Balaram, maybe he's telling the truth. You have eaten much. So show, open your mouth. Let's see. Let's examine. And Krishna is opening his mouth. And then Krishna lifted that Yoga Maya veil for a few minutes. And Mother Yashoda, she suddenly saw in Krishna's mouth the entire universe and all the planets, and she saw Krishna and herself looking in Krishna's mouth and all of that, and she became completely overwhelmed, and her loving parental mood was disturbed, and she, oh my child, maybe he's Vishnu, like that, and she became in a mood of awe and reverence, similarly to when Arjuna saw the universal form. He was also overwhelmed and fearful even. And then Krishna, after a few minutes, he again pulled the curtain of Yoga Maya, and Mother Yashoda, what happened to her? What have I seen? Or have hallucinations? Maybe my blood pressure, no. Maybe something happened to me, I'm not well. So again she saw her beloved Lala, who smiled. Mother, have you seen anything strange? So then the veil of Yoga Maya is lifted in certain circumstances. Otherwise, it's just, this Yoga Maya is everywhere in Goloka, everywhere. We have heard that these pastimes are going on around the clock in Goloka, because some action must be said. A drama. There is a drama. When Krishna comes from the forest, tending the cows and coming home and talking to the cows and dinner time, and that's a drama, pastime we call it. And then there is a drama of, not in Goloka, because in Goloka are no demons. The pastimes with the demons, there's many pastimes, but without the demons. Demons have no entry in Goloka. But in the replica of Goloka, Gokula, on Vrindavan, on this planet Earth, there are demons. And when these pastimes are also going on, when one pastime is finished in Vrindavan, in Gokula, that pastime is taking place on some other planet, in some other universe. It's going on around the clock. Not as I originally thought, when Krishna has wound up all his pastimes, then Krishna is leaving this material world, and then his pastimes going on somewhere else. No, it's not even like that. When Krishna finishes a pastime, immediately that pastime is taking place somewhere else. So Krishna, we know that he can expand himself in so many forms. He expanded himself in so many Krishnas for all his thousands of queens in Dwarka. Narada Muni witnessed that. They were not doing all the same, like a yogic expansion is like a shadow. No, every expansion of Krishna in all the many 16,108 palaces, they all acted in a different way, independently. So when Krishna is, let's say, is doing the Agasura pastime, that big snake, and once that pastime is finished, and he does the Agasura pastime somewhere else, and on this Vrindavan, Gokula, then next pastime is a different pastime. So that means Krishna is present simultaneously in many places. No problem for Krishna. And one may ask, well, if this pastime of Agasura, let's say Agasura, if that comes along, wouldn't that be kind of the cowherd boys? Oh, it's again the Agasura. We know how that works. We're going in the mountains, and Krishna is following us and expanding himself, and so that would be under material circumstances. Yes, that would be boring. We see the same film we see, cinema or on TV. We see it again and again and again and again. Now it's the 10,000th time we have seen that film. We don't want to see it anymore, even after 3 times, 5 times. But Krishna employs his Yoga Maya energy. The cowherd boys, they completely forgot that pastime. Illusion means forgetfulness. They forgot the pastime. They forgot they have been in that pastime, playing that pastime with Krishna innumerable times. And they think, oh, that's something new. New and fresh. That is a Yoga Maya potency. Hare Krishna. I think on that note we stop. We're running out of time. I hope things have been helpful. There was a lot of pastimes tonight. Okay. So we stop here and we'll see you on Saturday. Please do come. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.